And we're back with another series of Let's Play in ages long forgotten. Light fought darkness for control of the world. Dark Dragon led the evil hordes of darkness. The ancients fought back with the powers of light. Dark Dragon was defeated and cast into another dimension. The Lord of Darkness vowed to return in 1,000 years. Time passed, and Dark Dragon was forgotten by all. 10 centuries of peace ruled the land of Rune. Until the kingdom of Runefost brought war and fear to Rune. Hordes of evil creatures ravaged every land. Here and there, strongholds of good still held out, awaiting a hero who could wield the powers of light. And again, welcome to Let's Play Shining Force, the Legacy of Great Intention. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. Now you might say, wait a minute, don't you already have a Let's Play of Shining Force? I do. It's 11 years old, and to be fair, it was when I wasn't sure if I was going to go for a comedy, like 100% comedy and being a big asshole, or if I wanted to be a bit more myself. And I'm not proud of that Let's Play. I mean, it has aged very poorly. And I think that we all deserve a better version of that Let's Play. So let's get to it.
Wow, Dark Dragon, Ancients, let's see here now. What else does this old book say? 1,000 years have passed since they vanquished Dark Dragon. And this book says Dark Dragon threatened to return right about now. I bet anything that Dark Dragon is behind the evil hordes of Runefost. I need to tell someone about this, but who would listen to a kid like me? I think Dark Dragon's coming back. Will you help us? Come on. It'll be an adventure.
So we obviously have to delete an old file because I have some. From when we were running tests, this random one here that never got off the ground. So, yes, I'm sure. Alright. Oops. I didn't want to continue. Let's go with... God damn it, I keep hitting continue. There we go.
Say, what shall I call you?
Butt Stallion. It won't fit. So we'll just go with the default name.
Nice to meet you, Max. I'm Simon. Come back often and tell me everything. You need to get going. Evil spreads farther across Rune with every passing day.
Chapter 1. Runefost Invasion.
Max, come on, kid, wake up. I didn't hit you that hard. Oh, my nipples! Keep your guard up, kid. Those beasts of Runefost will tear you to pieces. Okay, that was enough for today. You'd better take it easy for a while. Well, Max, had enough swordplay for today? I don't know how you keep at it hour after hour. I'm dead tired after 15 minutes. Ooh! Woe is me. You have the makings of a great fighter, Max. You'll be tested soon enough. Lord Varios, the king has sent for you. You must come at once. Of course, lead the way, guardsman. I fear the worst, Max. Prepare yourself for true battle immediately. Okay. Did you see Varios' face? He went pale. Something really big is happening. Let's split up and see if we can't find out what's going on. I'll see you later. Time to scram. I'm not gonna come up with voices for every character in this game. If you're not familiar with the Shining games, the Shining Force games specifically, they tend to have extremely large cast of characters. So, that is the story, Varios? Then your majesty, we have no choice but to send Max, a young fighter. Oh, Max, I was going to look for you. First, listen to the king. For centuries, our people have watched the Gate of the Ancients as its guardians. Beyond that gate lies we know not what, not even if it is of the light or the darkness. But the Ancients knew, and they sealed it beyond the gate and set us as guards. And now we find that we may have failed in our mission, our reason for existence. Signs have been seen that forces of Runefost are at the gate of the Ancients. Whatever evil they are planning, we must stop it at all costs and at once. But we must not panic the people. A small group of young but skilled warriors. Yes, he could do it. He could leave town unnoticed and have a chance to succeed, perhaps. Yes, Nova, I agree, Max. Will you take the task? Sure. Very well. Now, return to town and gather your troops. Come back when you are ready. Wait, Max. Nova sent us. We're going with you. I am Luke the Warrior. See, I want to do voices, but a part of me is like, don't get into it. You're going to forget them all. Ken the Knight, at your service, Max. I'll follow wherever you lead. I am Tao. I'm only an apprentice mage, but I'll do my best. I am Hans, an elf archer. I'm coming, but don't put me in the front lines, okay? Ooh. So we get Luke, Ken, Tao, and Hans join the force. Meet us at headquarters back in the castle. Hey Max, don't try to sneak out of town without me. And Lo joins the full shining force. Now that you have your comrades returned to the king to hear his final commands, I'll follow your progress and offer advice as you face the vile hordes of Runefost. Well, that's settled. See you at headquarters. Fuck you, Lo. That's gonna be something that has to be stated in this Let's Play. They're just some characters that are just like, you want them to catch fire. You have your troops, but you need supplies. Take this! And, okay, well, 100 coins, meh. You may as well have just punched me in the dick, your majesty. This wonderful kingdom and this big event that you want me to stop, and all you could spare is 100 coins. What a cheap asshole. Now, most of the times when you're in town, there's not much here. In this particular town to find. You'll just see people to talk to and stuff like that. There's no treasure chests. However, pretty much every town after this, you're going to find something of relevance and of value. You'll also find people who might be candidates for characters that you want to keep track of. Hey there, youngster. My name is Gorik. Care to hear my story? Thanks. No one talks to me anymore. We're all too busy. Want to hear a secret? Never trust anyone outside the cities. Murderers and thieves, all of them. I ought to know. I used to be a great warrior. Been all over the world. Why? I have half a mind to go out again. Would if I got a good offer. Here's 50 gold. 50 bucks. As you can see, there's really nothing of interest or value in town, so let's skedaddle, shall we? You're a mean one, Mr. Burns. Max, goblins, Runefost must be up to something.
We can take them, Max.
Move it, vermin. Find the key to this blasted door. Come on. We're almost in. Where is that blasted key? What? Blast it! Those fools from Guardiana are here. Shake, 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 shake.
Earthquake!
Attack goblins and dwarves. Strike a blow for the honor of Runefost.
So, like Fire Emblem and many other tactical RPGs, this being probably one of the earliest to come out in the United States. I said in the United States, and be popular, considered popular too, because there was like Romancing of Three Kingdoms and stuff like that prior. We are in combat. Now, the thing about this is that we have various character types that support various roles. Every character currently in the party is one of those generic roles, with Hans as an archer, Ken is our knight, which knights can use spears and lances and attack from up close and at range, depending on the weapon they have. We have obviously a black mage, or a mage in this game. Keep thinking Final Fantasy terms. We have a mage, which is able to fling spells from a distance. Lo is our healer for the time being. Luke is a frontline fighter. And we have one main character, and our main character, Max, is kind of a he's more of a frontline fighter, but there's a lot that goes into that. So in general tactical RPG games, the rules are kind of as follows. If your main character, in this game Max, dies, the battle's over. If any of the characters die, in some games they're permanently dead, in other games they can be revived, and this is one of the games where they can be revived. So I would argue Shining Force 1 is easily the entry-level strategy tactical RPG game out there for a lot of people. Now with that said, leveling up and things like that. In any tactical RPG game, whether you're playing Ring of Red, whether you're playing Shining Force, Ring of Red, Fire Emblem, I can't even think of all of the different ones out there. There's so many of them. You can run into an issue where characters fall behind because they're not getting XP. In Shining Force specifically, we're going to need to grind about 4 times in the game, or at least what I would say 4 major times. The first 2 not being that major, they're just something you want to do on the side and get it done. The third one being the largest grind session, and then the last one is a nominal grind session. And we're doing them in order to get the characters we want to use towards endgame. Shining Force is forgiving enough of a game that there's really only one terrible character in the game. That is so terrible that there's no reason to ever use that character. And if it makes you feel better, for those of you pondering or even have a clue, you actually know who I'm talking about. That character is a novelty character. He's not even, he's useless. Useless! There's no way to make that character good. So with that said, it's just something to keep in mind. So really, again, this game is so forgiving that you could almost use any amalgamation of characters to get through the game. So we'll be doing that as much as possible. Not doing that as much as possible, but we're going to be setting up our party for what I would argue to be a casual playthrough. So we're not going to do any heavy amounts of grinding. I'm not going to sit there and pull out like these niche characters and use them. I'm going to use pretty much what I would recommend to be the best average set of characters in the game for a generic playthrough. And the leveling that we'll be doing, I will explain why we're wasting our time doing it, because some of you would rightfully might rightfully wonder, why am I grinding this character? Why am I wasting time with this? When grinding in this game isn't fully necessary to beat it, there's a little bit of grinding that is necessary, but again, we'll be lucky to go over 2 hours of grinding. It doesn't that's probably an underestimate. Each regular grind session shouldn't really take longer than 30 minutes. And then the longer grind session is the better part of an hour. Maybe even 2 if you're a perfectionist and need it to be very specific. Again, it's not a big deal. It's not, and I'll explain these grind sessions when they come up. Now, what is this relevance to the game? Why is this game kind of coveted and loved in a way? It's loved for its world building. It's a wonderful, colorful world that I love very much. The story is actually pretty good for its time. The characters are very colorful, very wonderful because of how colorful they are. And the mechanics are very nice and straightforward. I mean, this is 1991, I think. And it's a pretty good looking game. Now, Shining Force 2 blows almost every Sega Genesis game visually out of the water, which you'll get to see in a little bit. But, I'm going to probably redo that one as well at some point. I might leave my Shining Force CD Let's Play alone, because that one I believe is good enough. I might go back and revisit that one too, but we'll see. But yeah, so the first battle here, you notice I'm actually not trying to fight the boss here. And there's actually a reason. Number one, he could probably kill Max, which I don't mind if he does because I have a plan. The plan is that our first grind session, strangely enough, is in the first battle. For two reasons. Number one, we need the XP, and we're probably going to try to get all characters to level 3. So not much of a leveling session. You could argue that you could take them to level 4. Again, you don't need to do that. It might be, to some people, considered overkill. But there's a reason you want to make sure you do any leveling in the first battle, because it may be the only leveling that you do this chapter. I will say there is a small grind session I do later in this chapter. It's optional, though. I didn't read that text, did I? But we picked up Gong, as he is an optional character that you can pick up. He's not like a storyline character.
Greetings, Max. I have been waiting for you.
What an asshole. Alright, and then this guy acts as a priest if you need healing, or need saving, reviving, and whatnot, but we were okay. So back in the fight now, you'll notice Gong is with us. He is a monk who's also a healer. So, interesting. Very, very interesting. He will be getting lots of use, as having healers is always good. Strangely enough, 3 of the 4 primary healers of the game are found in Chapter 1. Almost as if they wanted to make sure you had enough healing. So I'm just showing you pretty much a basic grind session here. In the future grinding sessions, I won't waste your guys' time with it as much. But I just want to show you a bit why we're going to grind the way we do going into the second battle here. And I don't want the episodes to drag on too long either, so if I do... So we'll figure out a good way to do it. But you'll notice that these goblins aren't too hard. They don't give great XP, but they give enough for some of the weaker characters. Get them low. I said get him, not tap him, you bum. You useless bum! Yeah, low early on is going to be one of the harder characters to level up, as you can clearly see. He's a wee bit inept at doing that delicious damage. Alright, so Luke... Let's put Luke on a fresh one here. I doubt Gong will reach the other one, but it doesn't hurt to try. Gong, 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 gong. Look how low! Or not. We'll probably give Low the kill because we want him to level... Actually, he's one good heal from leveling, so I might back out on that. Again, and here's the other thing too, is because characters are revivable, there is such a thing as the no death run, so you make sure that every character survives and that no characters die. There's so many ways to play this game, and with different strategies. I know that some people have come up with like a worst character run. So in the comment section below, let me know what come up with. What is it? 9, 10, 11 characters or 12 characters? 11 characters, because you always got to use max. Come with 11 characters that are you guys consider the worst, and I'll use them in a live stream or in a playthrough or something. It would be pretty. I think it would be fun. You use the hardest, the most difficult characters to use. You can't you can't use the giant. You can't use the. There's one character I would actually ban from it. But then that's not really a fair weakest character. Okay, fine. It'd be interesting to see somebody do one or attempt one. Alright, so we're getting on our way here. We're getting them kills real good. We need to lure down, I would say, the Dark Dwarves, as they are the most dangerous thing here. Technically the Knight is, but we don't care about him that much. We're not going out of our way to kill him. So the way leveling works, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this game, is every 100 XP the character levels. As your levels get higher, the current enemies' XP amounts that you are given get smaller and smaller. So that's how they scale the game, so there's no way that you can pretty much sit in one battle and just grind your way up to like max level, you know? The game's not really designed that way. So just keep that in mind as you're, if you're playing along, that eventually just sitting and repeating the same fight over and over and over again is not ultimately going to give you, I would say, a result that you want. If you want a really good result, you're going to have to know when to progress forward in the game. Where is the most optimal point? Get as much XP as you can before you get to that point. But first and foremost, you need to make sure that you are in a position to you want to get as much XP as possible for the characters you plan on using. In a casual playthrough, you're going to get more characters than there is space in the actual playing party. So you need to compensate for that by figuring out which ones you think are the best. I'm going to be using the characters I think are the best for a casual playthrough. Not necessarily the best playthrough. So we're going to get Gong healing here. Probably should have healed himself, but it's fine. So healing actually always gives you minimum 10 XP as long as the character, I believe, has health to heal. The highest I've seen XP-wise has been about 15, I want to say. So you can get more XP if the healing amount is higher. That's something worth keeping in mind. Is that ultimately important or relevant in the long haul? Not really, but it's important to know. So when you're leveling your healers, when you're almost through a battle that you want to get through, you may as well let them heal everyone up to somewhat full health, even if it's only one hit point, because they're guaranteed 10 XP for doing that. Whereas you've noticed with low, it's hard for him to kill stuff, and Gong early on has a lot of the issues with that as well. There's a way to simplify their leveling. The other big strategy in this game is the pick-off strategy. So my pick-off strategy is when an enemy's HP is really low, save that enemy for a weaker unit to pick off. Not much to it. Not very insightful for most people. It's pretty straightforward. And it makes all the sense in the world. Whenever you're low in health, or whenever an enemy's low in health, use your weaker staff using characters or Gong, and I had him heal instead. I probably should have gave him the kill there, and I didn't. Really low, you're killing me. You're killing me low. So again, I want Gong or low to get a kill here. That's not going to happen this way. So, and he doesn't have enough MP. Damn it. Alright, Hans, get in there. And there it is. And Hans levels only gets a speed bonus. So you'll notice that every time a character levels, it's very specific stats. So it's nothing even that interesting. It's just some generic stats. Now, some levels are better than others. I've heard people say that the levels are entirely random. I don't agree with that, because I have consistently seen levels that have exactly the same stats. Like, you'll see like a character like Hans immediately get 3 speed, and he always seems to get it within levels 1 through 5. So I'm not saying that it's not random, but what I'm saying is, and what I believe is that when they program the game, there's this amount of levels that they planned the player to get. They planned on the player getting. And what happens is much like Fire Emblem, in a way, in Shining Force, when characters level to 10, in Shining Force 1, when characters can promote to what would be argued to be a advanced class once they hit level 10. Now, in Shining Force 1 specifically, when a character hits level 10 and you promote them, they actually take a stat loss. I know, that sounds weird. Wait, they lose stats? Yes. but their new class usually really... They start at level 1 of their new class, so enemies you may have barely be getting enough XP to level off of, now you'll be getting maximum XP to level, which usually you get about 48 for a kill on an enemy, as much as like even 30 for just doing some damage, or 31 for just damaging an enemy. So it's a pretty good trade-off when you think about it, that you could level pretty quickly in this game once you promote. Now, with that said, because you take a statistics hit at level 10, many people, myself included, are big and avid supporters of a tactic known as, of a strategy known as, we're going to promote characters at level 15 or higher. That'll take us probably to chapter 5 or 6 to get that far. It's pretty early to say specifically when we're going to do it. But well, I know exactly when we're going to do it because there's a battle that's specific that helps get it done. And we'll be promoting characters then. And I'm not going to tell you when that is because for those of you who haven't played, you don't need to know that. You're gonna learn all the tricks of the trade that is Shining Force 1. That is the first Shining Force. So yeah, we're on the warpath. Hans gets a good kill there. Look out, Gong! We need to get Gong at least to level 2 would make me really happy. Right about now. Get Ken up there. Start picking off some goblins. Again, the goal is to try to get everybody to level 3, which would be the most optimum level at this stage. Gong, you need to hit this goblin, or you and I are going to be having a talk here. No, you needed to kill the goblin. I should have been more clear. You needed to kill the goblin, or we're going to start having a problem here. You were reluctant to kill the goblin, which makes me very, very much enticed to want to kill you for fucking failing me, you fool. Ken's probably going to die. I'm not worried about Ken, though. Ken will probably not struggle to level that much. Let's heal Gong. Healers, however, struggle to level, so making sure we don't want Gong to miss out on delicious XP. Okay, we lucked out there. Let's send Luke against... Let's do that, because it makes it harder for that goblin to walk around to get to Ken. I mean, he still technically, I think, could, but at least the incentive for him not to do it is there. We're gonna weaken the Dark Dwarf, because they're the biggest threat. I don't know if he can. He might be able to kill it. I don't think he can. He'll get it to 1, yeah. Which is fine, because that means anybody can pick him off. Like Ken. We probably should have pulled out of there, but fuck it. If he levels to 3, I'm happy. Perfect. Easy as pie. Probably we'll be able to move on this fight, too. Just because of the situation here. I mean, Gong might still be level 2, as is Low, but we'll get them caught up before the end of the chapter. As the average chapter has around 3 to 4 fights. Sometimes I think in one chapter there's a lot of them, but in most chapters they're relatively pretty close to the same. Let's get Ken some delicious healing, shall we? Taste that delicious healing. Oh my god, it's fairy dust coming out of that fairy's ass! And it just makes me feel so good. Okay, that's enough of that. Sorry. Sorry, I went a little farther. I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. So Gong, oh god, he didn't fucking level. Ugh. You're killing me, Gong. You're killing me. You're killing your father, Gongy. You're killing your father. Now, as you can see, some enemies attack twice. That's usually bad. Unless your characters are walking walls of freaking, titanium. Which, in this game, as much as that sounds like I'm not making a joke, as much as it sounds like I'm making a joke, I'm not making a joke. There are characters who literally can just take physical attacks like freaking champs. You got to get to that point in that stage in the game to actually see it in action, but for the most part, it can be done. Okay, we're gonna let Ken just hold back for a moment. We're gonna let Tao pick up this Dark Dwarf here. Pick off this Dark Dwarf. Oh, she didn't level from that either, huh? Well, that's okay. Still have my plan. Again, it's not a good plan, but it's a plan. You're killing me, Gong. You're killing me. I probably should have refreshed this battle one more time. Still could. Level 2. Yeah, we're still not quite level-wise where we want to be. Especially with our healers, which means we'll need to do this one more time. And then we'll finish the battle. Again, going forward, I'm not going to make a habit of showing grinding sessions, because I know you guys could care less as long as you understand where all the characters get to. And I think I've done a pretty good job explaining how I got characters to various levels. How I'm going to get them to the levels they need. As you notice, I'm skipping over Gong again. And Hans, you failed me, you bastard. You son of a bitch! Come on, Gong. Let me kill you, Gong. Go, Gong, go, Gong, Gong, Gong. And there's a level for Captain Gong. He gets 3 attack bonus. That's always good. Hopefully Lo gets it. No. Okay, so we're going to aggress one more time. We're going to do one more battle session. And anybody left over at 2 can fucking die in a fire. No, I'm just kidding. Anybody who's still at level 2, we'll just move on. So we've repeated this battle, what? 3 times? Maybe 4? Not a big deal. You'll notice the enemies aren't that spread out. You might say, they look pretty spread out to me, bro. And you just wait till the next battle when they're not. I assure you, it's a very different bird. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's man-bird plane. Alright, let's move. As you can pretty much see, the tactic here is dealing with the first group of 3 goblins who practically give no XP of any sort. Killing them, you know, like the rest. And then the Dark Dwarves are the biggest threat, with the Knight being the biggest threat at the very back, the Rune Knight. And dealing with him is going to be with lots of rage. And there's Hans's 3rd level. Again, he got another speed bonus and not an attack bonus. Get used to that with Hans. He tends to get a lot of speed bonuses. One might even argue for the worst. Because every time you play the game, the character stats, though similar, will vary ever so slightly based on levels. And I think, again, what goes back to what I think it was, is that they programmed characters to have these end stats based on their leveling setup. So they base it on that factor, but how they distribute the levels and XP is random to a degree. Like this level, there was probably programmed to get these stats out of her X amount of levels. Again, this is all theoretical. I'm doing an actual study on it, that every year I pump out a semi-max level guide where I level every character unpromoted to level 20, and then I take and then I promote them, and then give them 20 more levels. Characters who are already promoted get 40 levels. So that way, every character in theory got 40 levels of actual leveling, including the base level, if you know that they were at when you caught them. So that way, the theory is that the study would be accurate under the sense that everybody has had a chance to level relatively to the point where we can now compare their stats. One study's not enough. I need to do more studies of it to actually get a real consensus. But it was interesting numbers, very interesting, and to the point where some people got like angry And it's like, well, don't get angry at me. I didn't program the game. Those were just the results I got. Now, I will say you can find that study on my channel. It's called the Level 40 Study for Shining Force. I've done it also for Shining Force 2. Now, again, don't use those numbers and those findings to play the game. It's not how you would want to play a casual playthrough of Shining Force. It was never designed for a casual play in mind. I spent countless hours building those damn levels up, so it's not an efficient way to play it, or even an effective way to play the game. It's just to settle some jokes and some like back and forth between aggressive Shining Force fans who all agree to disagree with each other when they say, well, no, his stats are actually better. It's like, okay, no, these are the real stats here. Now fight amongst yourselves. And I always find it to be funny how intense some people get, but that tells you the fan base has always really been very, very tight-knit, very hardcore, which is great because there's something about Shining Force, I don't know what it is. I think it's the charm of the game series that brings people together. It's got a charm to it that the Fire Emblem games just don't have. They've never been able to recreate it. And that's really the big thing. Now, I've also been asked if I would do Shining Force Resurrection of Dark Dragon, which is a remake of Shining Force 1 on the Game Boy Advance, I believe. Yeah, it's on the Game Boy Advance. I would be willing to do it if enough of you ask me to, because I don't know what I don't know if there's really much of a demand for it. But I might do it out of hilarity, actually, is to do a max level of that game, because they actually added some characters to it, some story elements as well. So, and then I'll tell you which one I think's better. I could probably do that, but it would be up to you guys, because I could just record other stuff as well that you might be more interested in seeing. I don't know. That's why I ask you guys. You guys know what you want. You guys know what you would prefer to see. I'm just throwing that one out there as we're still on the move. Okay, let's get Gong to kill this Dark Dwarf, and then we'll have our healers kind of round off healing on everybody, or at least fill everyone up to get some credit here. How close is that? That's a full health goblin. Let's weaken the Dark Dwarf here with Hans and Tao if we can. That way he'll be a lot easier to pick off. Ken can weaken the Goblin, allowing a healer to pick off the Goblin. Well, that's not empty. Ow! Hey, look at that! I thought Ken was going to kind of fuck me over here. Now, really quick, we can also go and look at who's close to leveling. So Gong's one heal away from leveling. And any XP you get at your level up does not carry over. So if there's no reason in many cases for a character to get a kill, if they're at like 90 something XP and they're, let's say, a healer, right? There's a better, okay, I didn't mean to kill him. There's better means to use that XP towards another character. So in the case of this situation where Gong's about to level, what we'll want to do is we will want, in a sense, to allow Gong to heal somebody, and anybody can kill that goblin as far as I'm concerned. There's no real reference to who you'd want to do it. I could really care less, to be fair. I might also give away what characters, by the way, I'm not going to be keeping long-term. Whoa. So if you notice characters starting to fall behind, there's a reason they're falling behind. And that's because in the long term, they probably will not be staying with us. So there's no need to burn that time on them. Like I said earlier, I could have probably gotten a heal, but it's whatever. I'm not that worried about it. Wasn't that much XP anyway. It's double the healing, double a heal, but whatever. Alright, now let's go ahead and deal with the Rune Knight. And as I said, from here on out, no more showing of grind sessions. What I'll probably do is... Ooh, look at that crit. One shot at Tao no matter what. What I'll probably do going forward is I will probably get the characters to the levels I want them at. And then I'll run through the battle as if it was the first time. I don't see a point in showing you all the way up to the boss, or the main enemy of the battle, and then grinding back to that point and then showing you that boss fight. It doesn't make sense. I may as well just show you the whole fight. But for the ones where I have to grind, it makes more sense for me to show you my tactics and then explain maybe some of my grinding decisions when I did grind, why I grinded here, or here, or here, and so on. You know, you'll notice we're putting our healers more back onto the route of healing up, so versus doing damage, because yeah, that Rune Knight is a dickhole, big old dickhole. He's hitting us so freaking hard. We'll throw a heal. Luke's probably gonna get the kill here. Luke or Hans. Tao would have been a great candidate, but Tao is not gonna fall behind in levels, so. And here comes the pain train. Fools, you have won here, but Lord Cain of Runefost is even now attacking Guardiana. If that creature spoke truly, we must return to help defend Guardiana. So we are in control. There's nothing to find here, so we'll move out. The earthquake blocked the road. Head north, but be ready for battle. So you'll notice Tao's missing, by the way. No one enter Guardiana while we live. For Dark Soul. Death to Guardiana. Death to Guardiana. Death to Guardiana. Shut up, Gong. Oh, sorry. Okay, and you'll notice really quick, and actually I'll save this for the next episode, because what we're going to do here is we're going to aggress right out of this battle and get our Tao back. Nobody takes my Tao away. Nobody! Alright, so we can actually either aggress or walk to a location, which is kind of funny. And we'll go ahead and we'll use this dude who acts as a makeshift priest. Well, what a surprise. He's a friar. No, don't make a record. Raise. And it's really 10 gold per level to revive a character. So Tao died at level 3. She's 30 gold to revive. Not very much money to spend on reviving until later in the game, when you start having like 6 characters die and they're all level, you know, plus their promoted levels. So if you say you level at 15 and you have a level 5 promoted character, that's 20 levels. So it would cost you about a bit more than you'd think. So there's the whole point of the priest, or the friar. I hate you. With all of my being, I hate you! Okay. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/JacktardStudios for more live gaming action. As I play a lot of various Shining mods, I play a lot of games there, especially strategy, RPGs, and RPGs in general. And we also have a Chairman of the Board tabletop show, as well as a blind play show of one of our chairmen named Hobo Headcrab, who lovingly plays through great classic games. He'll be playing through Shining Force 1 at some point, if not already. And he has a wonderful time, and his reactions are legit pretty good. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll see you guys next time.